This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Forget the frustration of picking commerce platforms when you switch your business to Shopify, the global commerce platform that supercharges your selling wherever you sell. With Shopify, you'll harness the same intuitive features, trusted apps, and powerful analytics used by the world's leading brands. Sign up today for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/tech, all lowercase. That's shopify.com/tech.
Joshua's podcast got something to say, with Chris Brock on the mic, ready to teach. Artificial intelligence is within our reach.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Sesh. Today I got a special guest, Chris. Please introduce yourself and let everybody know what you do.
Great. My name is Chris Brock. I am the founder of Primary Hosting. We're a Native American-owned business that is a cloud brokerage platform. We are able to utilize our network of 400 suppliers and carriers to really provide the best solutions to our clients. That's what I've been doing for a very long time, about 15 years. But what's interesting, right when generative AI hit, I started a Facebook group called ChatGPT for Business and Life, and it's grown to 260,000 members. So with that, I've been heavily pivoting and part of the generative AI movement for about the last 15 months.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. When I got access to ChatGPT back January last year, I was like, oh man, this is going to change everything. So I dived into that every single day for about 2 to 3 hours every single day, so I can just learn how to prompt it, how to speak to it, how to interact with it. And to my amazement, nobody really knew anything about it. And to this day, nobody really knows much about it here in my area. So I'm always trying to find people to, bring and toot the horn for AI, because I feel like it's going to be one of the most life-changing things for a lot of people, especially in business. Do you see that on your end?
Definitely. So I had a very similar experience. I used it at the end of November in 2022 for the first time through their new interface. I've been in tech for a while and was using AIs and IBM Watson for projects, but I used it the first week. It was the most amazing experience I had ever had with the machine, right? And it was so revolutionary for me that I realized everybody would use this. This would be ubiquitous. So I started ChatGPT for Business and Life December 17th of 2022.
Wow.
And I started just inviting my friends and colleagues and things like that to sort of a social space that we could just talk about this new technology that I definitely saw just by using would be a generative shift, like almost like a complete paradigm shift in how we use technology as people, how it would impact business, how it would impact really your daily life. So the Facebook group I started was called ChatGPT for Business and Life. So I saw it sort of permeating into both sides.
Yeah, I remember when I was using it heavily. I never got an endorphin kick. I never got that endorphin hit, and it happened twice with ChatGPT, because it was so like it happened, and I got that endorphin hit. I was like, "What is that?" I was like, "Oh shit, that's technology that happens fast." It is literally 10x my productivity, and I try to tell everybody about it, and everybody's like, "I don't understand it, I don't get it." So I kind of like, on my end over here, this is what I talk about, like podcasting. Podcasting was going to be the next big thing, and people around here don't really know too much about podcasting, and it really hasn't gone on as big as I thought it would be. So I was like, you know what, this is the next thing. ChatGPT, AI is going to be a huge revolutionary change here in the Rio Grande Valley from where I'm from. So I kind of like, I'm always tooting the horn for it, but I think people are tired of hearing it from me. So kind of explain how businesses can utilize AI and ChatGPT, just to go to the down fundamental of it, like how they can use it to help their productivity for one, and then help their business.
So I totally get where you're coming from when you say that you're talking to business owners and they don't really understand the true importance of AI right now and ChatGPT. For me, I'm in Cincinnati. Mark Twain said that when the world ends, he wants to be in Cincinnati because it's 25 years behind.
Oh,
right? So with that, there's a lot of just unknowns with AI. Luckily, we have the internet that we can connect. So it's great to connect with you. It's also great to connect, with the community that we have at ChatGPT for business and life. And from that, it's really opened up a lot of opportunities. Just last week, I was at MIT at the Imagination in Action event, where the focus was forging AI in the workforce, right? So AI is absolutely coming to the workforce. I saw a quote this week that really hit home. I think the guy's last name is Gibson, but it essentially says the future is here. It's just not evenly distributed.
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So with where you're at, you probably are, 10xing your productivity, and you're probably way ahead of the people that you're seeing around you. I feel the same way. I would even push that number up from 10x to maybe 50x. I've been in conversations with people like at MIT or in San Francisco where they're saying 100x or 500x or 1000x, right? So the productivity hack is unbelievable, but it's not some Terminator that's coming in to do all the work for you. It's really automating like mundane tasks or things that used to be un undoable, or just like you don't even have enough time to approach. But if you could do it, it would bring a lot more value to your customers or clients or users. That I think that AI now enables people at a level where they can process their thoughts better. They can, if they're in business, they can build their strategic planning, they can brainstorm, they can rework their marketing automation, their landing pages, they can configure the idea of, if they're going to do a podcast, sometimes podcasts are difficult to A, get started, so you got to film yourself and do it, but B, even coming up with some concepts on what you should cover, questions, right? So there's all types of ways that you can use AI just in your practical daily life. What I found, before you can apply it in business, you sort of got to apply it at home or for yourself. So if you don't spend that couple hours like we both did, you're not going to be able to really embrace this full AI movement, because I don't think you really understand or know really what this technology is if you don't spend some time with it.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right, because even if you spend at least 20 hours with it, you'll be further ahead than most people. Like I probably say like 99% of people, they just won't take the time just to learn it. One of the most interesting tools that I've used ChatGPT for is it's hard to find mentors. I look high and low for mentors, and I like to be in person to learn from them. But with GPTs, I just created my own mentors. I mean, I felt like, you know what, let me get the best from everybody, like the Michael Saylors of the world and all these like people that I'm really interested in, to teach me about very specific subjects. I created GPTs for them to become my mentors, and I sit with them every single day just to learn and research. And I don't think people really understand the significance of the power behind having I guess an AI mentor, right? But I mean, it's kind of cool that you can recreate your mentors literally on a computer, and then learn from them, research and learn how to research and absorb all this knowledge. And one of the things that has helped me do is learn faster, implement faster, fail faster, and move forward faster. I think that's the coolest thing in the world. What other use cases do you see as far as for like ChatGPT that can be used for businesses?
Sure. So I have been in the thick of this AI space. So one of the cool things that I've even worked on, beyond just using like GPTs to build chatbots within OpenAI, I started working really closely with a really great entrepreneur. His name's Alden Du Rosario. He's out of Boston, and he created something called CustomGPT.ai. Right. This platform allows you to rapidly build a GPT and embed it on your website, or in your knowledge base, or in a place that's accessible. So it allows you to sort of take that GPT experience to other places. It's still using Microsoft Azure API, which is OpenAI, but it's utilizing it in a way that it makes it a low code, no code environment. So when you're coding out your GPT, You sometimes need to like create a persona or an objective, right, around your GPT. His system allows you to do that very rapidly. So back in November, I think we were the first in the United States to do this, probably the world, honestly. We had the Nitro Boot Camp. This was a collaboration between the visionary Maurice Coffey at Procter and Gamble. He's the entrepreneur in residence at Centerfuse. He was able to put together a complete sort of mentorship accelerator where companies could apply, and if accepted to the program, they could gain access to technologies, right? 30 women-owned or minority-owned businesses were selected and participated in the day. In one 90-minute window, we were enabling 30 companies to build an internal chatbot or GPT and an external GPT for their business, and then be able to control it, manage it, and put it on their site. During that time frame, we had a few business owners that actually built their first AI and put it on their website. Wow. Like within that time frame. So it's been a real successful run. CustomGPT.ai has offered a lot of businesses and organizations a lot of tools. They're up to several thousands of clients. Like Alden is like a great member of my group. We've really developed a relationship over the last 14 or 15 months, and seeing how he's gone from like a new startup to I think like 7,000 customers. Wow. It's just been super remarkable. So that I think is the best first step for businesses, especially if you, exactly what you were saying, like a knowledge bot or a bot that's designed that like the data is not mission critical private IP. If it is like customer service questions and facts, like you have an e-commerce store, let's say, maybe you can build a GPT that can communicate to your users on which products may fit their need. If that's a little bit too advanced, you can at least use ChatGPT natively to rewrite your product descriptions, help you like better define those online, write your landing pages and marketing campaigns, your email autoresponders or email nurturing tracks. I think AI can absolutely help you do that in a way that most small businesses they don't have the bandwidth, the time, or the talent to put all that together. Now, if you're going in and assisting them, is like, let's say, in helping them with marketing automation and website design and a few things, that person can now help out so much further. And if you're a do-it-yourself sort of entrepreneur or business owner, you now have talent in this AI for $20 a month that you would need to pay formerly like copywriters for, and lots of money. And arguably, I don't think there's a big difference between a copywriter and AI content. If you're pretty good at prompting, you shouldn't start off and just say, okay, I sell paint, and then write me a landing page. It's not going to know much about you. But if you do spend that time to learn how to prompt in one shot and zero shot your information into these chats, and then know that it's a chain of thought, that you don't have, it's not a search browser. You don't have to say like search plumbing in Texas and put your city in and see if you show up. It's not that. It's actually, hey, I run a plumbing business in Texas and I'm interested in reaching more of residential clients in this 50-mile region. Please help me cover what would best suit residential plumbing needs. We've been in business for X number of years. We're in the Better Business Bureau. We're listed here. We have a lot of integrity. We really care about our clients. And then let the AI write based upon that sort of description. And it's really amazing how quickly and swiftly you'll be able to have really nice landing page copy that's not fake. It's accurate and somewhat authentic, right? And it's not something that I would wait on doing. It's something that every business could do today.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. One of the things that I started implementing, because I'm a digital marketer, so I do a lot of social media marketing, advertising. And one of the things I do before I go on with the clients is I take all of their Google reviews and I put them into ChatGPT. and I tell them what are the top 5 things that people are talking about, and it'll give me a list of different things, and it really shows you where the strengths of the business is and the weaknesses of the businesses, because people on the internet, they're not afraid to tell you what they think. So
Right.
yeah, it's a very interesting thing to see, and when you present it to the business owner, most of them didn't even realize that people are writing that stuff about them on Google. And I always talk about this, that the internet is the so the digital imprint of your business is on the internet. You have your brick and mortar business, but now you're in the digital world, which is probably more important than your actual business, because this is where the world gets to see you and make a decision. And I think putting your best foot forward and presenting yourself best in the digital world is the best thing that any business can do, because at the end of the day, the internet's full of so many people. And you can, if you have an online business, or you're online with your website, now you can literally reach the entire world. And with AI, you can translate into any language. It's like, it's the coolest thing in the world. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's a major enablement platform. For me, I've been in technology, especially in ad tech, for a very long time. It's sort of how I started my career. I went to Stony Brook University on Long Island. And when I was in college, I went to school 4 days a week, and I worked at a wedding catering hall 3 days a week, which I just found out, like, the owner of that, Giorgio Regini Sr., just passed away this week. So my condolences to him and his family. But I've learned so much from that. And when I was working there, I told them, like, hey, I built this great thing for student life groups on campus, and it does this blog network that allows all these students to connect and interact. And they were like, well, Chris, if you could do that for weddings, you could probably find a good living in digital. And I said, well, great, let's figure out what that means, and let's do that. That was the same time frame when mobile phones came out, and also social media, especially Facebook, opened up its ads API. At the time, Facebook had no data about us that we didn't put into Facebook. And at that time, that was before the news feed. What that meant was your geolocation, your gender, and your relationship status, maybe your birth date as well, but they didn't really have much more than that. Well, being in the wedding industry, I was able to buy ads for lead generation for engaged women on Long Island and all the way up the Eastern Seaboard. So that's sort of how I got started. And with that, I really like the idea of helping out small businesses, and I could see the impact instantly. How if you can find a little toehold in where you can have like a little hockey stick jump, you can do that digitally, where you just can't really replicate that in real life. For these wedding vendors that were paying tens to hundreds of dollars per lead, and it costs so much to like sort of communicate, if they even could, it changed that entire dynamic overnight when Facebook opened up its ads. From that, we started scaling up, and we started running ads for major companies, like programmatic ads. So for social and search engines. So for very big brands, we were able to manage the ad spend for Google, Facebook ads, but then you have Bing, you had LookSmart, you had some people were buying ads on Twitter or Pinterest. Some were buying ads, like display ads, so across YouTube and things. So we had a system to help manage that at scale. We also had a tool for omni-channel media management for big brands. So that means like managing this creative tools. That way, if you had a franchise, you could have your corporate create all your creative, then push that down to your franchisees that could buy ads based upon approved creative, right? And social media approved. So I went from like very small businesses to very big businesses, like in a very short time during that social media move. And it was a tidal wave. Now there's a lot of people that are marketing agencies and social media agencies and things, and that's great. What I see now, though, is this next step where it is absolutely AI as the next solution. And I think it's much bigger, especially for businesses, than social media ads or even Google ads. I think it's something that they can apply to every single framework in their business. A group called GAI Insights, operated by a really great guy named Paul Beyer. He just got named the generative AI executive in residence at Harvard University. I also just saw him last week at MIT's event. Paul runs a really great program, and especially for training people in generative AI and how businesses can adopt it. Him and his team put together an article that they discuss the WINS framework. And they pretty much say that AI will impact all words, images, numbers, and sounds. Okay, so if your business has any of those components of words, images, numbers, and sounds, they're going to be impacted at least a certain amount by AI. And if you look at your business, everything works almost within that. I mean, if you're swinging a hammer, it's not swinging your hammer yet. That's still, you got to show up and do the work. But to get the contract, to get the landing page up, to start the estimate process, to actually get the contract signed, writing the contract, even following up at the end when the job's done with with your customer, all that now can be utilized with AI. And that's stuff that most small businesses try to do, but it's hard. It's hard when you're a small business and you have 10 employees or less. Even up to 25 employees, it's tricky that you're wearing so many hats that you can't do everything well, and you end up neglecting the social media or the digital side, simply because it's too much work, and you're already doing the work. You're already, if you're a construction contractor, you're already like going out into the field. You're already handling QuickBooks. You're already handling customers and customer requests and complaints and just everything in the world. And you're trying to get new business, and you're trying to run estimates, and you got a whole family life at home that you're contending with. You just don't have enough time or hours in the day. Where AI can really benefit is taking over some of those things that would formerly take you an hour to do or 3 hours to do. If you can do that in 3 minutes, you've just 20x your productivity. If I'm doing the math right, yeah. So if something took you an hour and now it takes you 3 minutes, you've just 20x your time. And I think a lot of companies can get that. And I think that if you really get good with AI, it can help you express your thoughts in a way that are very clean and expressible to others, especially written, that it's sometimes just hard. It's sometimes to come up with the wording that you want, and you don't really always want to go and like hire somebody to write something for you, because that doesn't make any sense. So it's just the struggle point that can be resolved with AI.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Because when I was studying AI, the university here offers a few classes on it. I was learning about manager in a box, the concept of manager in a box with AI. So in the next few years, you'll be able to have the manager in a box AI take care of literally everything in business, while you focus on the creative part and getting things rolling, and you just connecting the dots, you're connecting everything. And that's where the concept, and I've been fascinated with this, is that when I heard it, I was like, that's what I'm gonna do, is make $100 million business with a relatively small team. A 3-4 team can make $100 million business. And he said that's kind of already here, isn't that?
I think it's 11 labs that created, I believe it's Mid-Journey, but I might be wrong. Like there's a couple different small teams that have scaled pretty substantially over the last like year and a half. So the thing going around Silicon Valley, I believe Sam Altman brought this up, was that there's sort of talking and joking and hedging bets about a one-person company with $1 billion valuation.
Wow.
And they feel that is something that we'll see within this decade. Some are pushing it just to a few years away. So maybe a small team at $100 million is possible. It's still a big leap. But
So let me stop you there. If you were to imagine this $100 million business, what industry is that? What are the products they're selling? What are the things that they're doing? Just off the top of your head, like what do you think that looks like?
So first off, it's going to be equipment based. So, and you're gonna have to have more people than one, but chips are very important. I think you're gonna see NVIDIA, Intel, you're gonna have a company like Kornami, you're gonna have Cerebras, you're gonna have all these chip makers that are coming out that are building the functional equipment that makes this stuff operate, data centers. So that's much more than a one person operation. But with the technology, the new NVIDIA chip, they spent $10 million in R&D to build the first one. And I bet they've built a factory that can rapidly deploy these chips now and build them without a lot of human intervention. So that's big. That's really going to be a big market cap. The second style is these foundational models. So I don't really recommend anybody trying to go out and rebuild OpenAI, but there's people that have done that. Some people were on the OpenAI team. So you have Claude by Anthropic, that is a quasi small team. They broke apart from the OpenAI team to build Claude, and Claude's very competitive. You have Cohere. Cohere was developed by Aidan Gomez. He was on the early research teams that came up with a transformer model that make this AI happen. You have Gemini that you might see. So those are the big companies. They've done foundational models. What we found first to hit, I think, small teams that scaled were the digital image creation. So I think, like I said, the team with Midjourney, maybe the voice synthesis tools, like maybe a HeyGen, where you can upload text and it will create a synthetic voice audio. You have several companies that are doing digital avatars. I'm sure one of those may work. And then I think you're going to get into lighter workloads, very specific AIs. And that's probably where the AIs are going to have the best capability to be a unicorn. If they can do something really well and with a small team, for instance, having like an AI workflow engine where if you're in Google and you have a Google form system and your inbound form comes in, how can that trigger an AI to perform work to respond back to your client? So instead of having an autoresponder that's cookie cutter, maybe you get some variables in a form and then your AI is responding back for your business and starting that transaction customer journey path. I think we're going to see some companies in that business space that are going to do very well. I think you're going to find some apps too on the consumer side where take a picture of yourself and you put what decade, let's say, you want it to be from, all the way from like the beginning of time all the way to now, and it would formulate you in the right background and the right look of what you would look like in the early 1900s versus like 200 AD versus like 5000 BC. So you'll probably be able to find apps like that have a very small team but scale really successfully on the app stores. I'm sure we're going to see more in that space of just being that first entry point to AI that really scales. They may have a good audience from TikTok if that stays around. I'm sure it will. Or if they have a big YouTube audience, like if Mr. Beast creates an AI, it's probably going to become a unicorn, and that small team is probably going to be able to develop something significant. I know with Mr. Beast, he's always wanted an AI or just a team that would translate all of his videos into different native languages. I'm sure an AI is doing that now. So that's just several possibilities there.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. And then with all that too, and then the presidential elections that are coming up this year, a lot of people are scared of the ethics of AI. Like you're going to start seeing content that comes out that you don't even know if it's real anymore. Can you kind of touch on the ethics part? Because I can see where it can escape a lot of things, especially if people only have like the dollar signs in mind, right? Like touch on the ethics, because I don't think people really understand like what's coming this year.
Sure. This is an issue that a lot of people are concerned with. I do think about it a lot. In Cincinnati, I'm part of this AI Catalyst. That's a group of universities and big companies and some technology agencies that are coming together to discuss responsible AI and ethical AI. So with that, I know it's very important to several people. I am more of an accelerationist, so I like the idea of using AI. There are some people out there and in academia that feel that we should just turn it off now and not even pursue AI. I don't think that's the right approach. I do think that we're going to see things that are going to be ethically challenging. There's probably going to be outputs of an AI that should, in theory, be illegal anyways. So there probably might be ways to use the existing rules in the book to, if someone does criminal behavior, they should be criminalized. And if you scam and steal from people by replicating, you call someone's grandmother and you use their voice that you were pulling from YouTube or from a social media channel, and you fool a person's grandmother with their grandchild's voice saying, hey, please MoneyGram me money, or Zelle or whatever. I think there's going to be a major uptick in that. I think that's already illegal, so that's something. I know the FCC also said that you shouldn't use auto dialers and have AIs just call and talk to everybody. You shouldn't do that. I think it's even illegal now, which is good, because that would just be a nightmare. You'd get calls all the time that people are just using an AI to make that first touch point. So that would be horrible spam. The one I'm most concerned about, I'm a father. I have 3 kids, 10, 8, and 6. What I'm afraid of is like underage production of child pornography, or because a student that goes to school with another group of students creates imagery that's vile, profane, illegal. I think we never had to deal with that at all in school. So, and it doesn't only have to be pornography that can be bad. I think that it may take bullying up to a new level, right? So that's really like the most concerning to me. I don't really think someone's going to build Terminator right now. These large language models, they don't really think, so I'm not really concerned about, HAL not opening the pod door or having some deep issue that the machines are coming to kill us. I don't fear that. But I do, like I said, fear this idea of what the dynamics may be with human relationships with AI. I don't know what that'll do. The movie Her is a great example of a person falling in love with an AI chatbot. I think that's going to happen. It's not even a question if, it probably already is happening. So what is the morality of that creator? Like what are they doing with their AI and preserving privacy and dignity of that person? There might be some interest to go into that. And then finally, you mentioned the elections. So elections and politics are typically very mudslinging, dirty business, it seems like. So I think it's going to be very tough for us to be able to absolutely understand everything that's going to come at us, if we can trust it. I'd say trust some of your resources that you like, but verify, because even if it is a trusted source, there's going to be a big opportunity for AI to fake the news. And even the newscasters I could see being duped. So if you're following the news, make sure trust your trusted sources, but verify. And if it's an untrusted source, double verify. But we're moving into an era between what is truth, what's false, and then what's simulated. So it will be very interesting to see. And I hope that people don't perpetuate like the bad information, because once it goes viral, like they say, a lie makes it around the world twice by the time the truth puts its pants on in the morning. So it's one of those real issues that I think we're going to see. And this being a political year, I think we're going to be seeing it immediately and pretty sustained for, looks like, the next 5 or 6 months.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the Tesla bots, Optimus. I think this is one of the most fascinating things. I don't even think most people have this on their radar. Like, explain what's coming.
So they are creating humanoid sort of robots, and they have for a long time. It's really interesting that, and there's lots of types of robots, like arms that just grab something or have a specific function, but now move into this humanoid sort of robot. They're designing robots sort of in our image with arms and legs and a perception feature so they can hear and see. And with that, they've been able to add generative AI to these robots that they were already sort of in production. It's not like robotics wasn't a science until AI, but now with generative AI built in, they're starting to get smarter in the sense that they're becoming more capable of asking questions. And also, like, if you just think of like vision, computer vision has always been a science, but with generative AI, it almost elevates it, that the robot has the ability to better recognize and textualize what's around it. This thing called multimodality is also going to be very interesting. Like, imagine being able to talk to your car and seeing traffic coming up, but there's if you take a right, you could avoid traffic. You could literally tell your car, hey, take a right up here, let's avoid the traffic ahead, and by your voice command it would drive. What we're going to find for sure is that there's going to be a legal gap between what's allowed to happen on the roads or at home. There's going to be a pricing gap. The goal is, I think, to get these humanoid robots. Like, wouldn't it be cool to have like a robot that just hangs out, does all of your laundry, cleans your house, cooks your food, does all of these different things? That would be awesome. Yes, but the price may be unobtainable for a while until it's not. Maybe in our lifetime, we see $10,000 robots that are capable, and maybe they can't do everything, but whatever they were designed to do, they can do well.
Yeah. All right. Well, before we finish off the podcast, let everybody know where they can find you and learn more about your business.
Cool. So join us on Facebook, ChatGPT for Business and Life. We have over 260,000 members. We have the daily updates, the news, information, memes, community all in one place. Ask your questions there. We're happy to help. We also have the AI Online Classroom.com that you can go to. Not only is it like a learning management system, what we really focused on is we pulled in 6,000 videos, plus it's growing daily, all around AI, human curated videos that are covering the whole gamut from the very beginning of prompt engineering and just getting started all the way up to like courses at MIT and Stanford and everything in between. With that, you can interact with our AI chatbot. You can tell it exactly where you're at in your AI journey, and it'll do video recommendations of what you should watch. So check us out over at the AIOnlineClassroom.com/TV if you want to really see what's going on in the AI world. And then always feel free to reach out to me on social media. Love to talk, love to answer questions, however I can help.
Awesome, Chris. I appreciate your time and your insight, man.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. I'll see you soon.
Joshua's podcast got something to say, with Chris Brock on the mic, ready to teach. Artificial intelligence is within our reach. Technology and human minds collide. On the airwaves we'll take a wild ride. The jazz is flowing like thoughts in the breeze, as we explore the realm of AI with ease. In this digital age where data's the king, the Joshua Moroles podcast, it's everything. Chris Brock's insights, they'll blow your mind. Artificial intelligence, it's a different kind.